Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Time is But a Window. Today I am talking with C15 who is getting unbanned next week from ESEA after the longest ban on record. His ban lasted slightly over 5 years. So anyways, first, let's tell everyone why you got banned in the first place. Did you cheat?
No, I didn't cheat, man. Cheating is repugnant activity.
So what exactly did you do to get banned?
Forum posts, basically.
Why would you get banned for 5 years over a forum post?
Well, the thread was about the ESEA servers being shitty, which they were at the time. This was back in source. So people were on there complaining about the servers, and I wrote a post that said, please send complaints to Eric Thunberg, who is owner of the League LPK, at whatever address was in the fucking white pages.
Do you believe that your punishment was too severe for the infraction?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But he was right. The funny thing is that when I was writing that post, he was writing the post on that thread. And then in his post, he said, next person to post anything about the servers gets banned for life or some shit, 100 years. I don't know what it was. And I was literally right after his, you know.
Do you know how long the usual cheating ban on ESEA is?
Like 6 to 12 months.
And same for malicious activity. So, I mean, your ban is kind of unheard of long, so you must have really gotten them at a bad time.
He had a little bit of a history, too. And there's some things with the league that I was vocal about.
So in your post, you also gave everyone his home address where they could contact him and send him complaints. How would you feel if there were 100,000 people that wanted to get in contact with you and someone had given them your home address?
Yeah, that's a good one. And at first, I would probably be the knee-jerk reaction for any individual is, what the fuck, all these people have my address, right? What are they gonna do? Yada yada. But when you really think about it, you realize that if anyone wanted your address, they could get it. It's public information. This is in the white pages, yellow pages. You know what I mean?
Right. How do you feel about iBuyPower's match fixing?
I think that's not honorable, unsportsmanlike. Really fucking tarnishes the league.
What about them getting unbanned after only 2 years, which actually turns out to be before you got unbanned?
Yeah, it's disheartening, but it's not unexpected. I mean, the CS league, especially after Cal, has been highly political. I mean, buddies with the admins, you know. I've had run-ins with abusive admins helping out their friends. We all know in that one season 5 or 7 of Maine, when we got DDoSed, I mean, that was pretty much pushed through by admins at the time.
I know, I mean, that was pretty ridiculous. We had like 2 guys left in the game. It was like you and Phillips. I had gotten DDoSed.
Yeah.
Oxide.
10-0.
And this was in like Maine finals.
Maine final, we would have won Maine, yep. But, you know, and that's part of the reason I think is why he banned me. Is because he's been wanting to ban me for a while. I caused problems. I made his business go through legal investigations, I'm sure. At least that's what someone told me. You know, looking after Mika, because you can't DDoS an IP.
Do you think that iBuyPower should have gotten a ban longer than 2 years?
I would have banned them for life, man.
And you brought up Mika earlier. Do you think that Mika should have had harsher punishments?
Yeah, man. Undoubtedly. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't really say they should have had harsher punishments, but I definitely think that I was disproportionately punished when there were much more deserving individuals who could have got 5 years, if not longer, you know?
Right.
But whatever.
Now that you've been unbanned, do you plan on coming back to the CS scene?
I'm thinking about it. It kind of depends, you know? I miss Source. I don't like Go as much, but there's really nothing else out there that tickles my fancy. Or that I'm good at.
Considering how long your ban was, I take it you haven't been able to play ESEA since CSGO came out.
I tried Smurfing once, and that I got banned from that account pretty quickly, like a month. So I didn't do that again, and that was like 3.5 years after. But matchmaking is pretty rough.
How did they find out?
Honestly, I don't know. I know there's some games I was playing with people that called me by the wrong name, in game. So if anyone watched, could have seen that. And shoot, man, you do well in any league, you're gonna make some enemies, and I'm sure there's still some people that don't like me.
Now, as we had mentioned earlier, we played on a team that almost won main together. We actually got packeted out of the grand finals. In rounds that we had all 5 members playing, we were up 10-0, 5-0 on the first half before getting packeted, and then 5-0 on the second half before getting packeted again. Do you think you'll be able to have any kind of significant impact on CSGO?
Honestly, if I get back into it, I'm not gonna do it for fun. I'm gonna do it because I really want to win. So this should be my focus, as it was in the past. And if it gets to a place where there's possibility to influence through vocation or through talking to people and dialogue with the league, I'm definitely going to do that because there's reform, man. There's a lot of reform that needs to be done, not just with match fixing, but people cheating, moving at lands and.
So a lot of people say that we're witnessing the decline of Counter-Strike and the game is slowly dying out again. Do you feel like you missed out on Counter-Strike Global Offensive at its peak?
Yeah. I mean, I think when I got banned, I was actually on a team for the CSGO Beta League. I think I was playing with you.
Yeah, we were going to, but you got banned before it happened.
I got banned. Yeah.
It's okay, I had cardiac arrest just a little bit later anyways.
There you go, and everything works out, right?
Totally.
But, I mean, a little bit. I'm glad that I got banned, and a part of me kind of knew that was the risk when I was posting that. I'd be a liar if I said I was blindsided by the ban. I think it'd be 5 years, but geez. So, I don't know. I did other things in my life. I quit playing CS, kind of put my computer away for a minute, worked a lot. So, I don't regret doing it. I don't regret the 5-year ban. Fuck it. I don't know where CS is going to go, but in my opinion, I think they need to go back.
You mentioned you don't know where CS is going to go, but what do you think the future holds for Counter-Strike?
I think it's going to be really bleak if they continue doing what they're doing. I mean, the tail end of Source, there were a bulk of patches that basically changed the entire game as it's been since 1.6 for the most part, outside of adding the Source engine. And it's just not something you should do in a competitive game. Unfortunately, I think it's a trend. Dota's a huge game, right? And part of the reason people like Dota is because they change it up every so often. They add a new hero, they change abilities, whatever. Counter-Strike's trying to do the same thing, but it's less effective because of how the game works, How can you change a game if people are so used to playing on a competitive level often? I mean, there's a lot of leagues for this, so I don't like the fact that they want to tinker with a game that is being played for money competitively to appease a casual crowd. But what are you gonna do? That was the whole argument with Source, though. It's kind of like deja vu.
What do you think about Source 2 coming out and Counter-Strike Global Offensive being updated or completely redesigned?
Is there a Source 2, or is that a hypothetical?
It has been confirmed.
Really? I'm looking forward to that, honestly. And that's kind of what I was gonna say too. Is I think they need to revert back to the glory days of CS, Going forward isn't going to get them anywhere. Their niche is remaining a classic, not in becoming the next Call of Duty all they're going to do is replicate things that people are already used to.
I have to agree with you completely. I mean, I miss the old style of Counter-Strike, but I mean, a lot of people grew up with this. You've been banned for 5 years, about the entire length of CSGO being out. And, a lot of people have just started playing in that time. And this is their first Counter-Strike, the Counter-Strike they've all kind of grown up with and kind of understand now. So I think it's kind of too far into the cycle of this for something major to happen. But I also thought the same thing in Source when the next version of Counter-Strike was going to come out and then Counter-Strike Global Offensive came out. So,
exactly. Yeah, I think what they really need to do is take this base they have that are Go players, and you're completely correct. I mean, I tell people I played Source, they're like, what was that? I'm playing Go with them, and they need to keep the beauty of the game, you know, the updated graphics. They should do another graphics update and optimize it and make things beautiful in the game, but they should keep the mechanics of the old CS that was skill based. You know, this RNG stuff is my biggest gripe with Go.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree, especially when it comes to the AWP. The AWP shouldn't have any RNG, and like even at like the range from like pit to like site, you're only going to hit the target like 90% of the time.
It's not useful in competitive. We already live in a constant RNG called life, and since we're playing a computer game that is in the universe of the world or Earth or our life, there is an RNG aspect to it already. We don't need it on shot. I mean, I think it's preposterous. But I'm just going to start ranting about that, so I'm going to reel it in.
Well, that's for another interview. Anyways, thank you for taking time to do this interview with me. Is there anything else you want to say?
Don't give up.
All right. Well, all those guys out there that are watching this video, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and have a great day.